5,000 Roman soldiers, veterans of Rome's wars, the empire's iron fist, marched into the northern wilderness of Britannia. They never returned. No survivors, no graves, only silence. And in that silence, Rome lost its 9th Legion. The vanishing of the 9th Legion. The 9th was no ordinary unit, forged in the days of Julius Caesar. They fought at Alesia, where Rome crushed the revolt of Vercingetorix. They marched through civil war. They spilled blood in Hispania, where rebellion burned like wildfire. It was there they earned their name, Legio IX Hispana. When Emperor Claudius invaded Britain in 43 AD, the 9th was among the first to land. Shield by shield, they carved roads through forests. They raised forts from the mud. They brought Roman law to the edge of the world. For decades, they fought uprisings. They held the frontier. They were brutal, disciplined, relentless. By the early 2nd century, their base was at Eboracum, modern York in northern England. An inscription still bears the name of their last commander, Lucius Aemilius Carus. And after him, nothing. No records, no victories, no defeats. The 9th Legion simply disappears. The machine of Rome. A Roman legion was more than an army. It was a machine. Each day they marched 20 miles. At night they built a fortified camp, ditches, walls, watchtowers. Every camp like a small city of war. They carried their own food. They built their own roads. They could cross rivers, raise bridges, and fortify mountains. Discipline was absolute. A soldier who broke ranks could be flogged. A unit that failed in duty could be executed by their own brothers. This was the 9th Legion Hispana. 5,000 men trained to move and fight as one. A war engine of flesh and iron. And yet, even this machine could vanish. The edge of empire. Beyond York lay Caledonia. Today we call it Scotland. A land of mountains shrouded in mist. Forests heavy with shadow. Valleys where the sun barely touched. The people there were the Caledonii. Rome called them savages. History remembers them as survivors. They were tall, their bodies painted blue with woad, their hair long and wild. They fought not in open fields, but from the shadows. They struck without warning, then vanished into the mist. Rome had faced them before. At Mons Graupius in 83 AD, thousands died. But the Caledonians were never broken. By the time of Carus, rebellion rose again. Forts burned. Raids cut deep across the frontier. And so the 9th marched north. Out of England, into Scotland, into the fog. Wolves from the hills. The Caledonians fought like no enemy Rome had ever faced. They knew the land, they knew the weather, and they used both as weapons. They struck at night, they struck from ambush, and they vanished before Rome could strike back. Roman historian Tacitus described them as wolves from the hills. Hunters in human form. Wild, fearless, born of the mist itself. Imagine the sound. The blast of horns rolling through valleys, shadows moving in the fog. Figures charging from the trees, then gone. How could a disciplined army fight an enemy that refused to be seen? An enemy that dissolved into the mist the moment you raised your sword. A legion erased. And here, the trail ends. Rome recorded everything: victories, defeats, even the smallest garrisons. But for the Ninth Legion, nothing. No scroll, no account, no grave. It is as if Rome itself chose to forget them, as if the Ninth Legion was cursed into silence. The Wall of Hadrian. Only a few years later, Emperor Hadrian came north, and he ordered the building of a wall, a barrier of stone, stretching from sea to sea. Today we call it Hadrian's Wall. Why build such a wall, unless Rome had already learned that Caledonia could not be tamed? The wall was not just a frontier, it was a warning, a scar across the land. A silent admission that beyond this line, Rome had no power. Some whisper that the wall itself was Rome's answer to the fate of the Ninth. A monument to fear, a shield against the shadows that had swallowed an entire legion. Theories. Some believe the Ninth was annihilated, that deep in the highlands of Scotland, the Caledonians gathered their clans. War horns in the fog, spears and blades crashing into Roman ranks, an entire legion swallowed by the wilderness. But how could scattered tribes destroy 5,000 trained soldiers with no survivors, no witnesses, no trace? Others say the Ninth was sent east to fight in Armenia on the empire's far frontier. Perhaps they perished there. But if so, why does Rome's archive, so precise, fall silent? And then there is the darkest theory of all, that their loss was so shameful, so absolute, that Rome itself erased them from history. Whispers in the mist. Yet in Scotland, the story did not die. Travelers spoke of footsteps on lonely roads, the iron march of soldiers unseen. Farmers unearthed rusted shields and broken swords, buried deep in the soil. And in the fog, some swore they glimpsed lines of men, helmets glinting for a heartbeat, then gone. The Ninth was not honored with a soldier's death. No graves, no rites, no peace. They were cut down in silence, annihilated so completely their memory erased. And so their spirits march still, restless, unforgiven. Their footsteps echo in the mist, because they can never find their way home. Aftermath of silence. In the years that followed, whispers spread across Britannia. Soldiers on the frontier spoke of the lost legion. Families in York never saw their fathers or sons return. And every rumor fed the fear. To the Romans who remained, the north became a haunted land, not only by rebels in the hills, but by the silence of an army that had vanished. The Wall of Hadrian rose like a gravestone, a barrier of stone and fear, a mark of where Rome's power ended and the unknown began. Ghosts of War. The 9th Legion Hispana, 5,000 hardened warriors, veterans of Caesar, builders of Rome's frontier. They should have been unbreakable, yet history gives us no ending, only silence. An elite Roman legion, erased in silence. No survivors, no graves, only whispers in the fog. Did the Caledonians destroy them? Or did the 9th face an enemy Rome could never name? Perhaps the truth lies not in the chronicles of Rome, but in the winds that sweep the highlands of Scotland. A sound like iron footsteps, fading into legend. The 9th Legion, An army that became Ghosts of War. This is Ghosts of War. Join us next time as we uncover another unexplained battle, lost army, or legend of war. The past awaits its story.